we're going to be level 5. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah.
Thank you so much for the video. Yes, totally.
Okay, this last level has lots of words you can use to describe this. Aladdin goes for 5 pages. But generally, biologists agree that's called your specific, adaptable immune system. Let's break those words down. What does it mean to be specific?
You have an antibody against the antigen.
That's right. I only attack one thing. So instead of your skin, which kind of keeps anything and everything out, it's non-specific. This system will only attack one thing. What's it mean to be adaptable? You can change. We also mean that you can learn. Learning is a change of behavior. So the idea of this system is not only can I attack one thing, but I can learn what to attack by getting exposed. And I'm going to learn the things to attack that are making the most harm. So this has 2 subparts. So we're going to do both of these parts. So 1/2 of your specific adaptable immunity is called the B cell system, which Saladin calls the humoral system. Perfectly fine. I like B cell personally. I can remember how to spell it. So B cell. What's the other one?
T cell.
T cell, which is called the cell-mediated response. I like T's. So the B's and T's are part of this adaptable specific defense network. And you're actually going to use both of them all the time, but they have a different role. To understand B's and T's, we're first going to figure out why they're called that. So on this picture, what's that on the left?
Bone.
It's bone. Why are bones on this picture? White blood cells. Remember, bone makes blood, right? So let's figure out why they're called B's and T's. Here's a cell, just floating around, and it's just going to end up going to a lymph node. And it goes from my bone to my lymph node. What do we call ones? That's a B, because it just goes from my bone to my lymph. This one is different. It starts here, goes to my thymus, and then to my lymph node. What do you call that one? T. They're made in the same place. They go to the same place. They're just a different kind of route they take. But there's really no difference in terms of B's and T's conceptually. They're in the same place, your lymph system. They come from the same place, bone. But T cells have to go to your thymus gland for a reason. And that is the T cells require training. And we'll learn what that training is. But they're going to require training in the thymus. So the T cells have to take a detour to train in the thymus. B cells also require training, but not in that way. To understand the purpose of this thing, you have to understand this picture really, really well. Hint, hint. Make sure you understand the concept here. Up here in the upper left, that's a body cell. Where is that? In my body. Can you give me an example?
Blood cell.
A blood cell could be a skin cell, could be a butt cell, could be a finger cell, a brain cell. Pick a cell. I don't care what cell you pick. But here's a cell in my body. And notice it has something sticking out of it, right there. In Biology 112, you'll learn what those are called. Proteins, or markers, or channel markers, or superficial proteins on the cell membrane, all that magic word. But we're going to call it just a protein. It's called your MHC to be precise. Here is a bad guy, the pathogen, the germ, pick a word. What does he have on his surface? Her surface, its surface. Antigen. So you're going to go back to blood typing. And the antigen was the shape that was on the surface of a cell. So you have an antigen on your microbes, and you also have shapes on your cells. Are they the same shape?
No.
No. So here's my question. Why would my body need to have a shape on its cells?
So that it can identify that it has an antigen.
Yay! Because we need to be able to identify or learn who to attack. And so on your body cells, I'm going to put it over here so Cody can't see it. We're going to have to give that a name. That thing there, that MHC protein. is usually called your self-antigen. What's it mean, self?
It recognizes who you are.
Recognizes who I am. So this marks your own cells. So all of your own cells will have an MHC. Can you tell me why you want every cell in your body to be marked?
Because you don't want your own body to attack itself.
That's right. Think of the Army. You're supposed to wear the same uniform so hopefully you don't get shot by your own guys. Right? Or you put your serial number on all your car stuff, whatever. The idea is I need to know who I am so I can figure out who is not me. So over there, we call the pathogen's antigen, we call that non-self. So the red bumps on the germ, those are non-self, not me. The MHC proteins on the cell, that's me. So my immune system has to learn who I am and who I'm not if they're going to kill the right thing. Right? So here I have a body cell with its shapes, MHC protein. I have a germ, microbe, bacteria, pick a word you like, with its shapes. Make sense? Now comes the part you really have to sort of fathom in your head, is what's happening in this picture here. In English, tell me what that picture is showing.
It's processing.
Yeah, I got processing antigen. What's processing antigen where? Why? What?
The body cell.
It looks
the body
like,
cell.
yeah, and it's breaking it down to match the
Very good. And
cell.
what was this little thing with red? Pathogen.
Non-self.
So pathogen enters my body cell.
So it's remembering.
My body cell's breaking it apart, and then look right here. What is that showing?
It's attaching.
Okay. What am I doing with the self and non-self?
Merging.
Merging them, combining them. Why would I stick the germ's antigen marker shape on mine?
To remember them?
So I can wreck it so I can learn what to attack. This system to work, I have to teach the immune system what it is I'm trying to kill. So here's something I want to kill, the red spotted guy. I'm going to take the red spots and put them on me. So the immune system now understands that if you see the red spot, that's not me anymore, that's non-self. And when you do the things that aren't you, I'm going to learn to kill it. Because I'm only going to kill one thing, and I have to be told what it is. So what you've just done is this funny word at the bottom. You've now presented the antigen, also known as an antigen-presenting cell. We abbreviate that as an APC, like in the Army. So an antigen-presenting cell presents the antigen. It's announcing to the world what it is you need to learn to kill. On the farm, we call these redneck cells. When you shoot a deer, what do you do with its head?
You
Mount on the wall. Why?
Yeah. Just show it off.
Everyone knows you have it. Congratulations. Look, Ma, I killed me a red thing. Your body's doing exactly the same concept. I'm going to kill something, and I have to announce it to the world so they all understand what I'm going to learn to adapt. The same concept. So you have to announce. That make sense?
Is that different from binding?
No, basically the same thing.
Okay.
Processing, binding.
Okay.
Basically, co-receptor modulation is the fancy way to say it. But let me show you I'm not making this up much. Okay, so here are some antigens. Remember from Biology 112 in this class, antigens are on the shape of the cell. Okay? Let's figure out what they have to say. Why is there no sound? That's a good question. Turn it off.
Proteins produced within the cell, such as viruses or self-proteins, are broken down into fragments. Fragments of foreign proteins are antigens. The antigens are then transported into the rough endoplasmic reticulum.
Remember that from 112?
The antigens combine with class 1 MHC molecules.
Okay, MHC is another way to say what? What does an MHC represent?
Self.
Self. Major histocompatibility complex means me. So I'm going to take the things I just ate, stick them on me, and put it out there so I can teach the immune system what to attack and why.
The combination is then transported to the Golgi apparatus, and from there to the
So
plasma
the Golgi
membrane.
transports and ships?
Foreign antigens presented on class 1 MHC molecules stay cell destruction by activated T cells. Self-antigens are not recognized by the T cells and do not stimulate cell destruction.
Let's back up there just a minute. Who is checking that antigen self thing? What cell is this? T cells. So can you tell me why we need to train them? What are we training them to do? What is it?
So it attacks the right thing.
Attacks the right thing and doesn't attack what?
Self.
Self. So one of the reasons you're trying to train them is you want to teach them the difference between me and not me. Because if you shoot your own guys, they're kind of a downer in the army, right? You're not supposed to kill your own guy. So the T cells have to be taught this little exchange of what's my shape and what's not. I'm going to show you a different animation now. Give me just a second to put on the screen. It goes through that training. Hold on, where'd it go? It was right there. Hold on, give me just a second. Lost my picture. Right there. Where'd it go? It's loading. Hold on. Emergency broadcast. Here, let me- There it is. Here we go. CDs are for sale in the lobby. It's crawling today. It's crawling. Put that. There we go. All right, so here is a little animation showing this concept. So here's a bad thing. Right, that's a virus. Right, so it's supposed to kill you. Remember Roger 112, the little lunar landers, they aren't alive, but they couldn't get anything. Right? And so this little thing is trying to just raise hell in your body. Right? So at some point, it got through your skin, it got past your lymph nodes, it got past your fever, it's now trying to kill you off. So this virus is trying to reproduce in your cells and create all sorts of hassles. You have to learn to kill it. So the only thing you can do now is to try to learn to attack that virus. To do that, you first have to find it and learn what shape it is. Otherwise, you won't know it from something else. Okay. Scoot ahead here a little bit. So what you're going to do here now is your cell is going to try sticking these shapes from the invader, from the virus, on its surface. So these are the vesicles from the Golgi apparatus. All right, there they go. Suck up the invader. Basically trying to stick its parts to announce to your immune system that you're invaded, and here's what he looks like. It's like an eyewitness kind of thing. That's a T cell. So this means the T cell receptor. Basically, the T cell is trying to figure out what shape that is. And so it goes through this little mental exercise, quote, quote. Try to figure out, is that me or is that not me? And that's a very, very important distinction, because if you get it wrong, you either die of an infection or you just killed your own guy. So recognition of self-protein prevents the attack. Meaning, if it's my own cell, I won't kill it. Because that would be a very bad day. Here's something, though. I don't know if this is correct. Right? the T cell sees something that isn't you, the default it does is that must be non-you. So the question is, how does the T cell know that? Let's go to the training exercise. You're going to go to boot camp. Your thymus gland. Thing way back then? Right. This again is not anatomically correct. But here come the T cells out of the bone marrow where they're made. By the way, a teacher made this. And we're going to go to thymus. This is epithelial cell. Thank you. He's missing his pencil. Good morning, T cells. Good morning, Mr. Cell. Please show me your T cell receptors.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, so notice, again, it's not correct because the idea is thymus gland is to make sure that the T cell doesn't match you. What would happen if it could match you? It would attack you. So let's add a word to that. If you get bad training, what do we call it when your immune system attacks you instead of something else?
Autoimmune.
Yay! So an autoimmunity or an autoimmune disorder. The T cells attack self. For no reason other than they can. Now, there are reasons they'll attack self, but this isn't the reason why. So they're confusing you and not you. So they are attacking your body instead of what it should be attacking. So give me an example of an autoimmune disorder. Lupus is one, MS.
Hashimoto's.
What was that? Rheumatoid arthritis? Right? You think diabetes might be? So let's take MS, for example. Remember from 231, what's in multiple sclerosis? What does the immune system attack? Myelin sheath. So your T cell thinks myelin sheath is an invader and blow away your myelin sheath. Therefore, your nerves can't work because the immune system is destroying them. You shouldn't destroy your myelin sheath, right? That's a good thing. But your T cells got confused. You shot your own guys. Right? Blue on blue in the military. So the thymus's job is to weed out those T cells that would do that. So Tommy passes. He would not attack you without something to attack. So Tommy's okay. Good job, Tommy. Here's Toby. Get the name. Peace up. Here comes Tara. Uh-oh. No, she said. That will not work at all, she said. So here we have a T cell that would match up to you and therefore react to you. And that would cause autoimmunity. The T cells are confusing friend from foe. What are we going to do to poor little to them? They get to go do their job, go patrol. Poor Tara, she gets left behind in detention. I wish we could do that in PCC.
You're no good.
So what's happening now is we have T cells that would discern you and not you. They would notice these things I'm showing the immune system, so they would now see it and learn to attack it without attacking myself. Make sense? That's the most important step, really, is being able to teach the immune system this is what you should attack. So now we're going to go through the steps it takes to get the immune system from this point on. So I'm going to turn this off for just a second, and I'll come back to it. Let's go to a different overhead here real fast.